fired up?
You're fired up.
All right.
How you doing, man?
The couch keeps it nice and casual,
The
right?
couch keeps it casual. The couch keeps it casual. So how you doing, man?
Everything's coming online. It's been a good week, you know?
Been a
Like,
good week.
we're just living this average American way. Here comes Friday, and you buy a case of beers. You kind of get after it, you know? I was in the grocery store today, and everyone was just boozing.
Yeah.
Everyone I saw a lady buying 8 Jose Cuervo shooters. You know, she was
Kinda
turning
the
up. Yeah. I can't blame her.
I was just in Vegas, so I can't judge
know.
anything.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be some stories from the
Yeah,
cool
dude,
again.
it was crazy. It was crazy.
tomfoolery.
The first day I got in there was Sunday, and it's still kind of popping on
It
Sundays.
was a quick weekend, yeah.
Yeah, and like, here, this will make it even better. Well, yeah, I got in on Sunday, and
There we go.
yeah, and it was just nuts. Like, so many people, so fucking hot,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's summer, so it's high season.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it's like,
People are just sending it down there all the time.
yeah, and I ended up linking with my my boss because I was down there for business, and we went to this place called Stadium Swim, which is like at the Circa Hotel and casino, and this is where I was staying, was the
Okay.
Circa.
I feel like we have a little more space if we want to shift it, but if you like it.
I think you're right, but the Circa, so that hotel is like super nice and it's sports oriented. So
Okay, that's kind of a perfect fit for the betting and the. I saw the screen you were looking at.
from my room,
Yeah, it was like a jumbotron of like what? It was like what, half a football field long, a football field long.
143 feet, so
Jesus,
half a
yeah,
football
yeah,
field.
look, quite literally.
Yeah.
God damn.
It was really cool, and so obviously while you're at the sports themed resort, you gotta play some bets,
Phew.
and so I
Profitable business trip it looked like down there.
I played some big boy bets on the Mariners versus Rangers, and my Mariners won all 3 fucking games in a row. I put 1,000 on the first game, cashed it. Then the second game, and I had won a bunch of money on blackjack too, at this point, and so I was like, I had like
Feeling yourself.
$5,000. I had like a little over 5 G's in cash, and I was like looking at it. Well, it may have even been less at that point, like maybe 4, and I was just like, fuck. Okay, well, what do I do? What do I do? I want to bet on the Mariners. I want to do a big one. Fuck it. Let's just bet 2,800 on the Mariners money line because we were favored against the Rangers. We were a better team than the Rangers. Got George Kirby on the mound. It was a no fucking brainer almost. So I put 2,800 down, and the Mariners were down 4-3 going into the bottom of the 9th inning.
That's high stakes. That's as high stakes as it gets.
And I was like, I was literally sweating like I am right now, but like even worse. Like
Yeah.
I was profusely
In the
fucking
AC, just dying.
dude, yeah, dying. Like, and then we load the bases up in the bottom of the 9th, tie it up,
It's
then
looking good.
sacrifice fly to win the game.
Oh.
And I was going crazy. $2,800 cashed. Then the next game I only put 200 on, but that way we also won that one. So it was profitable. It was good. Vegas was
Yeah.
crazy. Well, I met this little dude, bro, named Mike. This little gremlin, bro. He was like recently divorced, 50 years old.
Oh wow.
So that's just a recipe for
Midlife
like
crisis.
Oh.
That's like that's a recipe for an old man drinking too many drinks.
way
and
too
then
many.
buying drinks and then
Yes.
it's like a certain type of vibe, I can imagine it.
And
like,
the prostitutes smelled the blood in the water.
dude kind of flies around the country, doesn't really have any home base anymore. Like, oh yeah.
They-
I've met a few of those guys on planes.
They smelled the blood in the water and they pounced on his ass and he like totally let him.
Oh
It was
yeah.
hilarious. And so like he was sitting next to me. I met him because while the Mariners were playing and losing, I like to talk to people, in Vegas.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I sat next to him and then we started talking. And he's like, "What'd you bet on?" I'm like, "Oh, the Mariners." And he asked me like, "Okay, well, how do you choose what you bet on?" And I told him. And then naturally he started rooting for my team, and like that made me
yeah, a
like
little camaraderie.
yeah, exactly. So we were like bonding a little bit, and then we both started getting drunker and drunker. My team won.
Oh,
Then we got even
gotta
more.
buy some drinks after that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got even more. They're free. The drinks
Oh,
are free.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
you
kind of big.
don't gotta pay for any of the drinks as long as you got money in the video poker, and you don't gotta put much. Just put $20 in,
Oh,
and you
kinda
usually stay even.
let it spin away.
You don't really
Right.
if you
Well,
do blackjack.
yeah.
If you do blackjack, and you don't even have to play like all the time. You can play once per minute.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Just like check.
Just one button.
Yeah.
And then and then they were pretty good with the service if you tip them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give them $5, you're essentially paying $5 for 5 drinks.
That's pretty solid, yeah.
So $1 a drink. And yeah, it's
That's
pretty
crazy.
solid. Yeah, so as the drunker he got, the more he was interested in the women that were sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
They were clearly working girls. You know, I've been to
yeah.
Vegas 8 times. I know what the fuck to look for. And
that's
he
such
was
a
like,
good spot to be like a prostitute. Like people
Oh,
literally
yeah.
come up with like hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars cash. Like they're definitely willing to sling you like what, a couple hundred
oh yeah, he
for
was
an
like,
hour or like a couple bands for a night. Like
yeah,
that's crazy.
And he was like totally interested, and he goes over and talks to these girls. I don't know if you saw my story, but I took a shot with him. And
I kind of remember actually.
Yeah, so that was him, that like short
Okay.
little black guy and those 2 girls, and the 2 girls, he starts talking to them, and he starts getting like way too like aggressive, kind of with his hitting on, but he's not getting like rapey, but he's getting like too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And he had had a few drinks at this point, and like he was clearly horny and down bad. Like the wife left him, or he left the wife. Wasn't quite sure. You know, because it's a one-sided story. I don't know the fucking answer.
He
So.
could have been a real dick, but we still were rooting for him.
Right. So he was like over there trying to get it, and then the girl comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, like I really think you're cool, but like your friend's like starting to bother me a little bit." And I'm like, "Oh, well, he's not really my friend. I kind of just like met him tonight, and like don't tell like." I wouldn't quite go that far. We're acquaintances.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, okay, well, we're just gonna kind of drift over towards you now." And then like my guy got the clue, and he was like, "All right, bro, we should just go on Fremont." And at this point, I could tell he was man on a mission, like.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to follow him.
And then he cost. See where this goes.
Yeah. So I was like, "All right, ladies, good night, whatever." And then I followed him out in Fremont, and it was like every person on Fremont at that hour, because it was about 3 a.m., 2 a.m.
Oh shit.
Every person was a prostitute or up to no good.
Yeah.
So he was literally every girl he saw, he was just talking to. And there was this one fucking lady that was like 400 fucking pounds, missing teeth.
Ooh.
Like clearly high on crack. Her pupils were dilated as fuck, and like she looked at us and was like, "Hey, I'll suck both you guys' dicks for $100." And he looked at me. Like he was like
You wanna go halves?
And I was like, no. And then literally she reaches out and grabs my fucking crotch.
Oh god.
Like grabs my dick, and I was like, nope,
Thumbs down, yeah.
And then I just like sped walked away kind of, and I turned around and like, okay, Mike, I gotta go. I turn around, I see him and this lady like
making some moves.
Seemed like they were about to make a move, and I was like, all right, I think now's the time of the night where I.
Yeah, you have to figure this one out on your own.
I turn in, bro. Yeah, I turn in. I just got sexually assaulted on Fremont Street, bro. I'm going back to bed. Yeah, I'm going to bed. I need to go sit in fetal position for a while.
Sleep that one off. Yeah. Wake up refreshed, hungover.
And then the last day you met Joey.
Yep. Oh yeah.
He fucking pulled up at midnight on my last night there. Yeah.
Are you guys just like regulars? You just like make the rounds like?
He's there with his other group of friends right now.
Okay.
But him and I are going in a month too.
Oh jeez.
But so he flew in on midnight, and I had gone to the club already. Like the first time in Vegas I'd gone to the club. And so I was pretty torn up at that point. It was midnight.
Yeah.
And it was
it's so loud in there. I feel like it's fun, but it's like a similar sort of
I had to leave after.
Where it's like, you kind of hit a wall where I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like having a great time, and then I'm like, wait a second, like, I need fresh air, I need to hear a quieter place, like.
I want to go to a place where not every dude is trying to fuck girls.
I don't need to be so sweaty, like, exactly, like, I'm like feeling this weird, like, pressure where, like, these guys are like sharks, and these girls are kind of like, moving away, and there's like weird barriers, like, oh, this girl's with a guy, and he's kind of shielding her from all the other guys.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like, that's enough of that.
Yeah. It's fun I agree. It's fun for like a few hours, a couple hours, but then it just starts to not be.
It like abruptly becomes not fun for me, and then I'm like, I'm leaving.
Yeah. So that's eventually what happened to me. I was in there for a couple hours, but I got pretty drunk, and I got so drunk I fucking danced in front of the whole club. That was lit. It was dance circle, dance circle vibes. It was so fun, but then
work on my moves a little bit.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. I just did some footwork, and then I went to the El Cortez and played cards until because it was late, and Joey didn't come until midnight. It was my last night. I had barely gotten any sleep, So I was just trying to stay awake, do something to
Yeah.
keep me awake.
Yeah. Oh.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play cards because at least it'll keep my mind engaged.
Mhm.
And I was doing fine, wasn't losing that much, but then I kept getting the free drinks, and I was like already drunk, and like I just fucking all my basic strategy went out the window, all my counting went out the window. I couldn't count cards, I couldn't play basic strategy, I was just fucked. And I lost like $200-$400 or something like that on the table, and it was just fucked.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that's
then-
how the benders. It's lucky that that's where your bender ended. You know, some people it gets a lot worse. I think.
So much worse.
Yeah.
And then Joey and I went back to my room, so I wanted to show him my room. And I guess I was so fucked that like I just fell asleep like on the toilet.
It wouldn't be the first time.
It would not be the first time. Yeah. So, and then Joey fell asleep on my couch.
No one used to bed. Why bother?
Right. So yeah, that was kind of my Vegas trip. It was a lot going on.
That's quite the recap. Yeah. I mean, the nights sound like where the action really happens. But I imagine you kind of start later in the day. Everyone kind of sleeps in, and then.
I don't because I don't. I
Yeah.
have like insomnia kind of.
Right.
But I want to. I wish I
imagine
could.
Other people do. I
Like-
would for sure.
Mhm.
I slept until 10 a couple days this week, just regular. Working gets you.
Yeah, I know, dude. If you want to share the link, you can share the link
Oh sure.
too. Yeah.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah. If you want to share it, because we are live,
Yeah.
people can tune in.
Throw it on the snap.
If I share it right now, it'll like stop the stream.
Ah,
It's annoying.
because it's YouTube, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I could theoretically do it on my laptop, but
right. Man, this is a good setup for our purposes. I feel like.
it's way better. And my laptop's microphone just sucks compared because I have like a little.
Oh.
I have a USB one, or not USB, like a 3.5 millimeter,
Okay.
like regular, but it's just the quality of that compared to my fucking iPhone is not.
It's
even,
actually these are just so fucking functional.
yeah,
Oh, it says live right now.
Perfect.
Supreme.
yeah. Repost and then we'll get a couple fuckers in here. Be
Mhm.
nice. But I'm gonna take a dab. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Hartman. Vegas is fucking lit, dude.
Cheers.
You can take a dab whenever you want.
Oh yeah. Already up. Jeez. I kind of boofed it too. That would. Oh man, I was gonna get a picture of that.
Oh yeah, that was huge. I'll do another one.
That was gonna be my flick.
So, all in all, Vegas recap. I went down for 4 days. Ended up over 3 bands.
Great success.
Great success. And I gave a lot of the money back. I tipped it to service workers. A lot of tips.
Into the community.
Yeah. So I think I
Oh man.
put the blessings back in.
One of my life goals is to be rich enough to give away things like watches. I don't really care that much. You know this about me. Like, money's not my number one priority. I'm not going to orient my life around, like, getting the most, like, the highest salary or, like, making the best investments. Like, I'm just not going to do that.
Sure.
But if I could get to a point where, like, I could just give, like, really nice gifts to people and it was just, like, no stress to me, that just seems so cool. Like, I love hearing stories, like, on Rogan and shit of, like, oh, like, someone's like, oh, that's a nice watch. And they're like, you can have it, like,
Yeah.
That's just balling. And, like,
Yeah.
such a cool fucking thing to do to someone. It's, like, such a meaningful gesture to them. And it's, like...
I've been watching a lot of these videos.
Mhm.
I don't know how many of them are fake. They don't seem fake, but there's some people that are like on TikTok or whatever. I don't have a TikTok,
Yeah,
but
me either.
they're on the Reels on the
Yeah.
other apps. Every app's basically
I
TikTok.
heard that Instagram turned into TikTok today.
They basically are TikTok.
Yeah, that's like a new development. Like that broke. Like I heard it this morning. Like there was an update to Instagram, and now like when you load in, it takes over your whole screen and starts playing Reels straight away. That's crazy. Like I don't have a TikTok to this day.
It is TikTok now. You can't
I'm feeling
avoid
like
it.
eventually like I'll have to get in the game and start like making videos too. Just to like try to get a message out of like whatever I want to talk about out in the world, but.
Reels are really effective.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of good content. And the way I think that text shows up, like you can have like pictures and then like highlight like the most important thing in one line of text. And then the way you can move through the video, like people are able to intake information like that, but it probably doesn't stick.
Speaking of Reels, have you seen this Andrew Tate character?
No.
You haven't?
I heard you guys talk about it on the last one, yeah, and I hadn't. You said it was showing up on your shit. It's not showing up on
Bro,
my shit.
he's taken over the world because he's like, So it's so fucking smart in so many ways, but also so stupid. I can't believe people can't see it. He's literally like, so he has this thing called Hustlers University 2.0.
Okay.
And the whole idea, it's like, we're going to teach you how to make money online, like how to drop ship, how to sell shit, how to affiliate market, all that. But the main thing I've heard that he teaches is to share clips of him, like, and make money through that.
Huh.
So he has like an army of 108,000 people.
Right.
That join this thing. They pay $50 a month.
Wow.
And they supposedly make a bunch of money reposting a bunch of his fucking shit. That's not all they do, but that's the main focus.
Right, so somehow it becomes like a network where it's like, if you're in this network, you're going to get more traction by being associated with it or something. I wonder what the schematic is.
He's all over my he's literally all over my shit. Like, I can't get him off my shit. And
that's
like,
weird.
It's kind of weird, but I kind of like, wow, he totally like gamed the system.
It just shows how fast it can go. Yeah, like once you start to get momentum on these algorithms, it really seems like, you know, overnight or like in a couple months, you can start to like, people will just know your name. Like,
he knows how to do it. He knows how to say the craziest shit.
It's interesting. They're totally your tools. Like, I feel like when I watched the Mr. Beast Rogan, that was the first insight to that for me, that like, there totally are tactics you can use to game the algorithm. And like they figured it out through study for years, but there's got to be a fast track at this point where it's
money,
paying people. Money's one part of it, and saying certain things is another part of it. I don't know, the editing. There's so many aspects of like, how do you gain people's attention? That's like the name of the game, right? It's like, how do you get people's attention?
Say crazy shit.
And once you have the first bit of attention, how can you keep creating content in that vein? Yeah, that seems to be the way.
That's literally his way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Rogan's way.
No.
He doesn't say the craziest.
Rogan also started a decade ago, or 2 decades ago. Not 2 decades ago, but like, over a decade ago. When like
12 years ago.
When it was a different market, right? Like the attention economy has evolved so much in the last decade to where like it's like now it's down to 1-minute videos. Like,
these reels are so bad for us.
For our attention, yeah.
Oh my god, I just thought about that the other day, and like these kids are on it like all the fucking time.
And think about, I've heard so many stories of like even people I'm in college with. Like I'm in college with like exclusively engineers. That's my like social circle. And there will be kids like, yeah, I just like stayed up last night on TikTok. Like I'm really tired today because I was just like, I just couldn't get off TikTok. Like they'll just lay in bed and go on TikTok, and like everyone knows better.
It's like dopamine.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like a small subset, right? So then like below that we have like the 50% of average college students who are like just throwing their daytime away, throwing their nighttime away, and then you have high schoolers who don't have shit else to do. Like all I did was play games on my phone in high school, but I was playing like Clash of Clans and like Clash Royale and like, you know, like kind of shit that seems silly now. Like it just doesn't hold up. And so if someone could fine tune your interests and then match like the content creator with the niche audience, that's like, it's cool.
I kind of like algorithms in that sense.
Yeah, I was telling my pops he should start TikToking once he retires, because he could find a niche audience. You know, those old guys who have like a philosophy and kind of like a certain kind of dynamic or just a presence about them.
It's not even about that. Like you guys could do it with music too.
Yeah, they should do it with music.
Like little clips of my dad just shredding it for a second, and like your dad doing
the studio shit. Yeah,
in the studio, so they can see the behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And like my dad doesn't care about being popular. That's the thing.
No, and neither of them would. I think if they just start putting out content, like I'm sure they have stuff to say. They love to give us lectures, you know. Like,
I feel
Jesus
like
Christ.
If you don't care about it, it might come easier.
Mm-hmm.
If they like, people might be able to sense that you're genuine.
And the other thing is, think about how much time they already spend on the screens. So it's like, just fucking cut the Facebook out.
So much.
And start fucking content creating. Like,
cut the Facebook.
Literally.
Cut it out.
Cut the fucking Clash of Clans and cut the Facebook.
Get the fuck out.
And start talking about shit that you feel like is important and that you want to pass on. These, like, they have good insights to the world, you know? They're fucking smart guys who have, like, seen some shit.
Sure.
Like, pass on some of those insights, because it will match. If the algorithm keeps getting better and better, it'll just match people who are looking for that type of philosophy with people who are preaching those type of ideas. So it's like, it seems like a good time to really cultivate and flesh out what you think about things so you can like talk about it coherently going forward. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think too, it's okay to change how you think over
for
time.
sure.
Because a lot of people get married to their ideas.
Or they just get old and they just have a worldview that worked for them when they were in high school, and then
My grandpa.
then they settle into their 9 to 5, and then they have kids. You know what I was thinking today? So back in the day, like people our age were having kids, right? Or definitely people 5 years older than us were having kids. And it's like, imagine how much less time you have the moment you have a child. Like, you stop sleeping, you have to look after this fucking baby, you still have to work, right? Like, your life just changes so drastically.
Sure.
But right now, we have all these 30-year-olds who don't have kids, and they're the fucking Twitter warriors. Because what they should be doing with their life, right? What they should be doing with their life is planning events for their family, trying to sneak in time to enjoy with their spouses, like going to kids' sports games, like looking after, you know, what's going on at school, like doing their job, all that shit. But instead, they just have written off kids, and now they've had 5 fucking years to live in their apartments and talk shit on Twitter, and we just have this, like, constant, like, social justice warrior class with, like, no stakes in the future and a lot of time on their hands. It's a challenging situation.
Now, I have a question for you that kind of builds on that.
Yeah.
So, do you think that maybe part of the reason why some people don't want to have kids, maybe not like all of them, but some,
Yeah.
is because they're lazy?
I don't know.
Because it kind of takes, like...
It does take a lot of...
It takes a lot of extra work and thought and
also
planning.
pretty anti-commitment. I would say I'm
Yeah.
kind of in that boat. So it's like, I do want to have kids, but I don't want to lock it down with a partner. Right? So it's like...
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You haven't found one yet, maybe.
Not yet. But...
And you don't have to.
Yeah.
We're still pretty young.
It's true, but...
I'm a little bit more... I figured, like, I used to be like you, where I, like, didn't believe in monogamy.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Well,
But
I used to maybe be a little more extreme than you.
Yeah.
Where I really didn't believe in monogamy.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was stupid, and this was like really when I was in my psychedelic phase, like doing a lot of shrooms.
Yeah.
I just thought about
it's like free love. You just feel the feeling of love so intensely by yourself. It's like, I don't really need a partner to foster this in me. Like, this is an inherent thing to me. Like, I should just be able to experience this with other people. Like, why would I? You know?
But then I you know, I had my first relationship. That ended how it ended. But I did experience...
There were, like, highs and lows.
Yeah, like, love. And, like... And I'm now with Barbara. I would definitely say I love her.
Yeah.
But it's, like, a different kind of love. It's more of, like, a serious love. Like, I really want to, like...
It's like an investment.
I want a future with Barbara.
Yeah.
I want to, like, build a life with her. I don't want to, like... I don't...
Just, like, fuck around, yeah.
Right. It's and, like, if shit doesn't work out, you know, like, it doesn't work out. But that's what I would like. And I'm to the age now where I don't date to waste time.
Right. A relationship will either last or it won't, right? And when you start it, like, even if you have plans or, like, intentions, you don't really know if it's going to last or if it won't. And, I don't know why that's significant, but it's just, like, a fact. It's, like, a small...
No, it's significant because it's, as a man and as a... Well, especially as a man... You have to keep that in mind because as a woman, it's so much easier to like snap your fingers and get
a partner,
especially if you're a high value woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to get a decent man.
Yeah, that is a weird. I read an interesting thing the other day about how for like thousands of years, it has always been the man courting the woman. Like the man is always trying to like foster the affection and the love of the woman and like get the woman to like care for them. But it never really looks from the female perspective, which I thought was an interesting insight.
It's
but
because
the courtship. What do you think about that?
Well, there's an evolutionary reason behind it. It's because they have to. Their consequences of having sex are a lot bigger than ours. When women have sex, like in the traditional fashion, we have sex to reproduce, right? So the reason why women have sex is to get pregnant. The consequences of pregnancy are 9 months of bodily changes and uncomfortability,
and
right?
then like fucking 5 years of like higher risk, you know.
So they could also die from childbirth.
Yeah,
like,
and then you have to take care of a child for like 2 years, which is absolute liability.
Right.
Like,
and like, what are our consequences of sex for men? It feels really fucking good.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's literally about it.
Yeah.
Like so like literally like from an evolutionary perspective is all I'm talking. So like, that's why I think men have courted women and still continue to court women is because it's driven from an evolutionary side of things.
I see that. That makes sense. Yeah.
Because we want to. It's like we're fucking
Right.
God
We're trying
or
to like
whoever,
get after it. Yeah. Like.
whatever created us, or if anything did, designed us to be like seekers of women because we want to get our seed everywhere.
Right.
That's why I wonder, like, these places. That's why I know these places, like in China, where they have like the one child shit, and like, there's a like big rapey, like weird culture going on with like
China.
suppressed, and like Japan too, and all these Asian cultures where sexuality is suppressed, and they're so like rape is such more of an issue.
Yeah, well, I heard an interesting thing about women who are our grandparents' age. So back then, right, it was like so important to stay a virgin. Like if you had sex, like you were like bad, like literally, you know. I think like 60, 70 years ago, that was really the narrative. Like if you were in high school having sex, like you would be outcasted like severely.
Yeah.
And so so that like fostered this culture, right, where like women became like really passive and would kind of like be like, oh, like I don't really want to, or like, you know, like kind of like try to ride this like line of indecision. Because like they had such pressure on them like to not do it, but like they wanted to, and the guys were kind of like pressuring them, but sometimes both parties wanted to, and it just like built this weird culture.
Culture around not talking
of suppression.
About shit.
Yeah, exactly. Around not talking about shit, and so now we're trying to change that and like talk about shit to make sure people are like engaging in like a healthy, fun way. But we have all this baggage of like old people like giving us bad fucking advice.
Like I think, like I don't want to sound like my family's dynamic is like 100% perfect, but like the way that I talk to my parents, I think is more of like the future of like being
it's
open.
Unique
100%.
for sure too. It's like I would say it's unusual,
but it makes
cool.
sense.
It is cool too. I like it.
They know
what's going on. Which is what parents ultimately want, right? Like I think they just really do want to know what's going on, but then they like set the conditions where like you can't, you know, have like an open communication situation.
Right.
So it's like
if you tell me this, I'll be pissed.
Exactly. And yeah, such bad like.
But then you're not gonna know.
You know, you have to treat a baby like it's a fucking baby, and a toddler like a toddler, and an elementary schooler like an elementary schooler, and a 19-year-old like a 19-year-old, right? Like you have to have this like flexibility and recognition of like what it is to be a person, and like you know, react accordingly. I think to the situations like.
Age-wise, yeah, and maturity-wise.
And yeah, exactly.
Maturity level is big. I mean, that's another thing now that I'm dating an older woman, it's like huge. Like the way she handles stress versus the last one. Go from an 18-year-old to a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like a 6-year swing.
That's a lot of life experience, yeah. You get to just work some shit out.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch people mature over time, too.
It's cool, but I'm glad that I don't have there's something to be said, and I think you're kind of probably going to end up with an old, I don't know for sure. You'll probably end up with a girl that's at least like 1 or 2 years older than me. It's just like I don't know, maturity-wise, it's better to not have a project.
It's good to get a boost, too. Like someone who has like good plans and shit. Like if someone knew more than I knew, could like teach me and like put me on to like, you know, who had like connections and talked to people way more than me. That'd be clutch, like, yeah.
So are you going back to school next year?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I leave in 10 days or so, or 2 weeks exactly.
Oh, I'm glad we're kicking it then.
Yeah, 2 weeks exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm traveling a little bit to Sun Valley. And
Idaho?
Yeah.
That's a nice area.
Yeah, hiking and shit for a weekend. And then Michigan to the Upper Peninsula. Fuck around at Lake Superior.
That place is so cool.
It's gonna be crazy. Like Lake Superior is like such a fat lake. Oh man.
You can't see the other. It's like an ocean.
Yeah, you literally can't see the other.
It has its own like weather systems. Like
the lake snow effect is so real. Like the water just cools everything off. It's fresh water. It's so sick. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a kind of Canadian border. Yeah, and then we're going to Chicago and seeing some blues and some jazz music. So. It's exciting.
Do you think the education system needs reform?
Oh, yeah.
So here's my whole thing, like with. So I don't know if you have Coach Stout on fucking.
Bro. Yeah.
Okay, so I literally I'm trolling him at this point with the WNBA shit. Have you seen it on Facebook, bro? I just tag him and everything. Like that's like anti-WNBA because I just am trolling him at this point. Because he gets so triggered. It's hilarious. I don't care about the. The reality is the WNBA was created for women, and women don't care about it. That's what Bill Burr said.
That's a fact.
Have you seen the newest Bill Burr special?
I've listened to that part.
You saw that part? Yeah. It's so true.
But For sure. But I still support subsidizing the WNBA heavily.
Oh,
I don't give a shit. Like,
don't cut them off.
Girl athletes are lit. Like,
sure, don't. I'm not saying cut them off, but I'm also not agreeing with Coach Stout's point of if we marketed them more, people would want to watch them more.
For sure, yeah.
I don't agree with that because they've been marketed.
You have to
people
build
don't want to watch them.
Yeah. It's much bigger than that.
The only reason
marketing
why
is the worst solution to a problem. Marketing is like a huge net negative in society, in my opinion. Advertising is tragic.
Unless you have a good product, the marketing is good. You know, like for example, my business trip this weekend was all marketing essentially.
Right.
Our business, what we do.
Right.
And that's important because now we're going to provide solutions for companies that have logistical problems. Their products are backed up.
They
didn't know they existed before.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. At this level, that's mad useful.
Also, advertising can be harmful in a lot of ways.
I'm talking more about digital and like shit on screen. Like
sure. Oh my god. Yeah, I agree with that. And, I do. There's some bad shit. Like,
but connecting our local economy is actually pretty clutch.
It streamlines shit. Don't you want shit to be streamlined?
I want shorter supply chains so bad.
Streamlined.
Regional
and it can
production,
be.
dude. We imagine how much food we could grow in our region, and then we could truck around like our whole region. Like we'd be net positive. So well off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And
well, I'll tell you, the amount of inefficiency in logistics is really stupid. And it literally comes down to people.
Yeah.
It comes down to people.
How do you think consulting is in terms of efficiency?
Consulting is, well, I mean, it depends on who you are, but
yeah. There's
like what kind of
inefficiencies,
consulting?
too.
What kind of consulting we're talking
That's
here?
kind of the hard part of the problem, right? It's like no one really knows what it means. But
well, it means like, for example, like if you want a financial consultant, you know
Business
about
strategy.
finance, and give you some strategy.
Yeah.
There's some value to that.
True.
But there's also a lot of inflationary shit that comes with their position. It's kind of like, if I could tie it back to I think I was going to talk about. Coach Stout and fucking
the basketball shit.
So WNBA, whatever. Fuck the WNBA. I'm glad that it exists.
How about heavy subsidies?
I'm glad that it exists. I'm ultimately glad that women can do sports that, like, for example, tomorrow I'm watching the UFC, MMA, and the main event's women's fight.
Yeah, I saw that on
And
Instagram.
I'm so excited for that shit, dude. I'm so excited for Peña Nunez. I think Peña's going to win again. But anyways, my main point is Coach Stout posted something that I actually agreed with the other day.
Okay.
It was a rare thing. And because most of the time it's just pay teachers more. And I'm like, nah, most teachers fucking suck. Just honestly.
And some teachers are doing all right. Like the Tacoma teachers are not the ones we need to be fighting for. Is one thing I think. There are many teachers who
pay teachers more. I'm sorry, bro, but like
who need support. Yeah.
You don't even use correct grammar in half your Facebook posts. I don't know if you're exactly the best advocate for this.
Yeah, he's a good. Like we know what he's saying though. Like
I do.
On the one hand, like fuck grammar, because like he's actually a good communicator.
I don't. No, he's
that
not.
Shit,
no,
like,
bro.
Okay,
go to.
I don't fuck with Facebook at all. Like that's the.
Or his Twitter.
Yeah,
he tweets, Facebook, bro. He literally.
I know. He sends
He goes so much all the time, tweets, and I'm just like.
That's true.
Bro, Coach Stout, if you're watching this, bro, because you might actually watch this, because he's on my Facebook. If you watch this, I got nothing against you, dog. It's just like.
I actually fucked with him as a coach.
I like you as a coach, but it's just some of the shit, man. Some of the shit you say, I highly disagree with, and I let you say it, but I have to poke the bear sometimes. But I agreed with this point. If I can say it. I've been dragging it on. I'm sorry. He said that admin is overpaid.
That's a fact, yeah.
Such a fact. I could not agree with that more.
Ugh.
Melissa Hayes, fuck you. You don't deserve any fucking money.
Oh my gosh.
You're goddamn cunt.
If you actually look at, some of the people that we've had to deal with, it's brutal.
Such a cunt.
And that's not even, there's
what is her motivation? She's a way bigger problem, but I don't care.
No, I agree.
Where's her, for example, I'm just going to single her out because nobody liked her. Where's her fucking motivation to become a better person at her job?
Yeah.
There's no incentive. There's no motivation to help people. She's just there soaking up fucking money, taking up space.
That's true. Actually.
When I do agree, Coach Stout, the people that are with the kids should probably be paid more than that fucking cunt.
Or just helped out and there's other ways to streamline the system. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is so much. Oh.
Yeah. That's why I said this is not made for kids. Mm-hmm. When I made the live, they asked me, "Was it made for kids?" No. Yeah, but I think school admin is a big problem, and if we reduce, and also it's overstaffed.
Right.
There's like
It seems
25
to-
bitches
it's
in the
tripled,
stadium
yeah.
office.
I've had like experiences where I was in a career room in a moment, yeah, where there's like 10 administrators, like 10 people getting paid by the school, and like 10 students to like talk about shit, and like the bulk of the conversation was the bureaucrats and the admin like talking to each other, and kind of gassing each other up, but providing very little insight for like us as the people showing up to the meeting. It was kind of a whack situation, and like I just watched these people around like having meetings on campus and like eating, and you know they're being good consumers, but like they're not really creating that much fucking value. And then the bullshit that they get to scheme up against us, you know, like why do they decide to give us trouble? It feels like.
The admin.
And then yeah, and
Dude,
then
for
and
sure.
then get compensated so like handsomely to like do what the voters, the constituents think is a shitty job, like.
I definitely, dude. Like, I'm like having severe reservations about sending my young kids to public school. I think that when they're old enough, they need to go. You need to be around regular people. Fuck private school. Private school is bullshit. You should not have your kids in a bubble.
Yeah, we need to help education out for sure, but
public education is important.
So public education against like more money, right?
But
like,
not when you're young, because there's a lot of shit now. Well, I'm just gonna fucking say it. I'm just gonna fucking say it. I took education in college. It was the easiest fucking course I have ever taken. High school, college, whatever. I didn't have to do any of the readings, didn't have to go to any of the lectures, didn't do any of the shit, and ended the class with a fucking A. Didn't have to do any of the shit.
Talk a little bit, write a little
besides,
bit. Yeah.
Besides write a little bit of bullshit that I didn't even have to read about.
Intuitive.
That is what our teachers have to go through before becoming teachers. If you get a good teacher, you're lucky. You have to consider yourself lucky, because the education courses in college, I highly encourage you to take one as an elective.
I've gotten very lucky. That made me think. Yeah.
It's just so easy, bro.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's so easy.
You definitely can learn a lot about like again the appropriate ages of kids, right? Like toddlers have some fucking developmental, you know. Toddlers different.
Sure, but come on, man. That's like it's so easy, and like that's
there's a gradient to it, and like the kids we're sending out now, like I'm stoked for young teachers, but like if someone's like 2 years older than me teaching kids, like they're gonna have to like, grind it out. It's always been hard. But
teachers that are good because of shit they learned on their own, not because of the shit they learned in college. Mm-hmm. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of teachers are fucking lazy. You know that's true. Your dad will say that too, because your dad's a fucking public educator. Yeah. I know he will say that most of his fucking coworkers are lazy.
Get along with his coworkers.
Because they're all fucking lazy. They're all fucking lazy. They don't work hard. There's no incentive to work hard. There's none.
The incentive problem is a big one. Like, writ large, like incentives are a huge problem.
Yes.
Like, how do we change them out? You do need them so much. If someone paid, like this just sounds kind of crazy, but like if someone paid me like $10,000, like I could help this company I work for so much. Like, I think I could program them pretty rudimentary shit that's like hella useful, right? And
so what do you do now?
Right now, I mostly just walk around outside and count trees. And
so you're a surveyor, right?
Yeah, I'm like yeah, exactly. And then now I'm in the office building little Excel formulas.
Oh yeah, dude, Excel's so cool.
It's strong, but if like programming languages are stronger, I think.
Oh, yeah, but like in terms of an office program, bro,
for sure, it works so good. But the things I'm saying about incentives, like if I was hella incentivized, I think I could for sure like solve a lot of these people's problems.
What are their problems?
Just like data science, they need like rudimentary data science tools, and they're using Excel in like not the most sophisticated way, right? So it's like if you like make some improvements in like letting the computer do all the logic on the back end, and so then the front end is like hella usable, just spits out good information. Like I could probably build it.
Streamline.
And it's about incentives. Like if I had a hella big incentive to solve that problem, then I would work harder. It does work. Like in that way, like it's important to have like dynamic shit for innovation, but
it's just tough.
Mm-hmm. How do you?
Because like that company probably doesn't make a bunch of money, do they?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, what do they make money doing? Like, how do you make money doing that?
You just like make budgets, and then you just say.
Is it a public thing?
No, it's they just like interpret. So like, there's like job sites where like some task needs to get done that the government doesn't do, but like some needs to be done, and then they pay like the consultants, and companies can pay the consultants too, right? Like if there's, so like we just go outside and count all the trees and
For what?
and GPS them because they're gonna get cleared.
Oh,
So it's like
you're like so for developments.
yeah.
Wow.
So it's like it's practical, and like here it has like an environmental side piece where like we like count and replace the trees, and also it's practical, right? Like it's pretty nice to know like exactly how many like 10-inch trees, 20-inch trees, and like 30-inch trees you have on a site before you try to come like take all the lumber.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better than just like running in there with a bulldozer.
Sure.
So we figure out that shit, throw it on a GPS map that's like in the proper jurisdiction, so we know like what policy to apply to it, interpret that like municipal code, and then
Nice.
write up a little report.
Nice.
But then you say that shit takes like $100 an hour, and you bill for like 30 hours or something. You know, you start like chunking up these nice little like budgets where everyone just takes some money, and that's where the slowness comes too. The bureaucratic like sludge.
Yeah, sludge. That's what it is, dude. It's a massive inefficiency. Truly.
Yeah. Ooh.
I find most things government to be super inefficient, and that's
Government could be dope.
Yeah, okay. Could be, would be, should be, okay. But now when we have people like Pelosi in office that are literally fucking doing insider trading and nobody's saying shit.
She's got a big rack.
Fuck that. She got massive fucking milkers, bro. She got titties, but I don't like her. She's just.
Oh no, she's a.
God,
fraud.
she's such a witch. Fuck
It's
that
bad news.
cunt.
It's bad.
Fuck her, dude. For real. She's so fucking bad for our society. She's a leech.
It's facts.
Have you seen her holdings? She bought she bought like so much Tesla stock right before the Biden EV bill.
Damn.
Then she's bought Nvidia right before the microchip bill.
She buys everything.
Right before the bill.
She's able to just get she's like in every single market at once. It's like very impressive, you know, if I had the foresight, you know.
It's not foresight, it's insider trading. It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's literally illegal. Martha Stewart went to jail for it.
It worked for Joe Kennedy though.
I'm sure. Well, they were literally they were in the mob.
It wasn't
bro.
illegal.
They were in the mob.
It wasn't illegal.
They had mob ties out the wazoo.
Yeah.
The whole Kennedy clan.
But then they got Wall Street money, and like, you know.
That whole Kennedy thing is crazy to learn
So
about.
cool.
They gave the daughter a lobotomy.
Oh my god, I know.
They fucked her up
tough.
for life, dude.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Such a bad one. Can you believe that was a commonplace procedure back then?
Yeah, they kind of,
It kind of like really like.
Couple, like however, like thousands of people possibly, like probably more than thousands of people.
Oh no, literally hundreds of thousands of people got like.
I don't know about that.
I think
there was a little less people back then. Is the thing. Like.
Well, I would bet over 100,000 people got a lobotomy.
Total ever. I think that's fair, but like low, 100.
We should look that up. You have your phone right there.
Yeah.
Fact, Jamie. Fact
right,
check.
young Jamie.
I don't know. I'm curious now. You got me thinking because I swear it was.
But the thing is, that Joe Kennedy gave his daughter a lobotomy. It went wrong. He sent her to Minnesota and never told anyone.
Yeah.
Like his whole own family.
Yeah.
Like she just moved away. They were crazy back then.
Right, right.
Oh yeah, a bunch of those. That's sad. What happened to them?
I know. Well, I guess you could say, well, people didn't know better, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. We did used to do some really fucked up medical procedures.
About 50,000 people. It says in the U.S.
Oh, in America. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about in the world?
I don't know. I don't know if everyone was attempting lobotomies. To be fair, like surgery.
Someone tells me in some archaic ass European places.
But that might have just been torture. But
or like I don't know, like maybe they're probably doing it in Kenya, like on black. The British are probably doing it on like black Kenyans.
maybe.
There are so many fucked up things the British did to
world's been
Kenyans,
brutal.
bro.
Yeah. Oh, that's a foul thing to think about. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Really
My
bad.
girlfriend's people were like warriors.
Yeah.
I did uprising against them.
Many people have been warriors, and recently too. Yeah, it's tough out there.
There's
still.
like no match though, realistically.
It's tough out there.
They
Still.
had no technology.
We
Like,
have a crazy thing going on right now where, like, in America, it's kind of crazy. like we just have plenty of land, and, like plenty of food, plenty of energy, plenty of boats.
Yeah.
Like we have a. Not everyone can say that.
The only thing though is like you kind of gotta worry about this fucker in Russia, this little 5'5" asshole that's walking around threatening nuclear war.
Yeah. Oh, it is a problem for sure.
Fuck Putin.
Yeah.
That guy is such a fucking piece of shit, man. Somebody needs to go in there and blow dart his ass. Fucking poison dart his fucking ass.
Yeah.
With like a micro dart of cyanide right in the back of the neck. Fuck that piece of shit.
War's bad.
He's literally gonna cause it too, and then the thing is too, God, it's so fucked up because it's not just him. There's so many. It's like whack-a-mole.
It's
You take him out, there's like 5 more that pop up that are even worse.
Yeah, that's the problem. What I was saying about the energy and the land and the fucking boats and the people. Like, oh,
What do you
man.
mean by boats? Like Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah, our
And-
Navy is so strong.
And transport boats to move containers.
Sure.
You know, like, yeah, many people rely on imports, right? On like a national level.
Hmm.
And yeah, these strongmen, like the leaders, most leaders are like so.
What do you think
Like
of Biden?
destructive. It's tragic. I'm very disappointed. Like I'm bummed out, you know. Like I see him talking, and it like makes me kind of sad. I'm looking for.
Now we have
I'm
a
looking
ger-
for a little more than that,
we
to
have
be
a
honest. Yeah.
Geriatric fucking.
If I got to like have some attributes for the president, it would be like exciting, like has vision, like productive and on top of things, like you know,
You
just
don't want-
healthy, just like
Bro, he's so
at the peak of their game, like really going for it, like looking out for people. Oh man, I don't get that vibe.
He's like senile kind of
It's
too.
kind
He,
of like, yeah, this guy should be like laying down somewhere, chilling.
Yeah.
Because they're making him ride bikes and go on planes and
Uh,
give speeches. Like, let someone else give a speech. Goddamn. No one else has any goddamn nothing to say.
I know. We have to listen to
I've
this.
heard this shit. Like, give me a break.
We have to listen to a career politician who has never done anything.
Yeah, oh, well, he's done
Productive.
some things, all right. Back in the day, right?
He used to say the N-word and fucking.
Yeah,
He used to
there's
say that shit out loud.
Yeah, criminal justice is a real problem. If you were like a crafter of criminal justice in any way,
He was like
I
anti.
have some problems.
He was
yeah.
like the pro 1994 crime bill.
Drug warrior. Oh,
He
that's
was
that's
so-
what we need. A fucking washed up drug warrior
Right.
leading the charge here
What a
into
piece of.
into the 21st century in the attention economy.
Okay, hot take. Hottest of hot takes. Trump will win 2024.
Oof.
I don't want him to win. I'm not gonna vote for him. But
The odds seem non-zero.
bro, they're so non-zero. There's such a resurgence still. There's such a, because people are so anti-Biden now.
Oh yeah,
Like, so if they run him again, they're fucked.
they'll be galvanized.
They're fucked. It's like running Hillary because he's less popular than Hillary. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they run Hillary again, they're fucked too.
I have-
Fuck Hillary. Nobody
I have a-
wants her.
I have a question. If they ran a random person, do you think there would be a relatively positive, like / neutral receiving of that, or do you think it would still just be like,
The Democrats.
yeah, if they ditched Biden and like just picked a random, like someone you don't know the name of?
Would they have a better chance than if they had picked Biden?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Because it's again marketing. Like Biden's at least a marketable name, unless he did a Trump-like campaign. But there are no Democrats that have that kind of swagger that I know of.
Mm,
Even AOC,
no way.
no way. Trump has crowd control out. He knows exactly what to say to make his people even more loyal to him.
Mhm.
He is honestly a genius in that sense. He is not a good president. He's not a good politician. But he's a genius in a lot of ways, and he's also very stupid in a lot of ways. That is possible for someone to be a genius and
Yeah,
stupid at the
he's
same
mad
time.
problematic and like, yeah, does whack shit, but
Does whack
in
shit.
terms of like the chatting it up and like,
He's a great businessman. He actually is, because he knows how to. And people say, "Oh, he's bankrupted." Blah blah blah. Okay, well, anyone who's ran as many big businesses as that guy will tell you bankrupting a business does not make you a bad business owner.
mhm.
It's for tax reasons. It's to
I'm
avoid.
sure he's doing okay.
Right.
If you make it to be the president, I would tend to think
He is
Your-
not broke.
your dealings have been a success. You know, people definitely have like highs and lows, but
He literally, you have to give the man credit in some way because he's the only person that I can think of in my lifetime, and in our parents' lifetime, that wasn't a politician before they were president.
Yeah.
Literally, think of anybody else. Can you think of anyone else? Was he the first one?
That could be. Yeah,
maybe George Washington, because
politicians were pretty established back then, though. They just kind of had a different name for it, and it was more real. It was like statesmanship.
Yeah.
You know, they were like strategic thinkers and planners who like had to like meet up and like actually talk to men and talk to, I guess, villages, whatever, and plan tactical missions and like industrial strategies and like how are we gonna have enough food for the winter, you know? Like,
it'd be so easy for the Democrats to be popular.
Oh, I know.
They just have to legalize weed.
Oh.
Do like real like prison reform.
Oh man.
Like there's so much shit they could do to like be, but they're just not fucking doing it because you have
sure that institutions get the money to the people that need it.
Right.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that if we get a prosecutor as a vice president and a fucking person that's pro-crime, crime bill 1994 in office, that there would be any crime reform whatsoever, or that there would be any legal weed.
Oh
we don't have fucking legal weed. That's such a popular thing. People on the right want it. Oh, I have family in Texas that is like God-fearing, and they want legal weed. Are we kidding? At this point, who are we kidding anymore?
Who are we babysitting?
I'm drinking. Right? We are drinking right now. This has been objectively less healthy than this weed that's right next to it. Objectively less healthy. It's been proven many times that like I'll tell you, I drink a lot, I smoke a lot.
Oh.
What makes me stupid? The alcohol makes me stupid. The weed makes me think a little more.
Yeah, it levels you out, and it's like a relaxation. If you can just like settle in to being high.
Trump too is a fucking idiot for not legalizing it. That would have made him.
It makes me bummed out that guy doesn't like try to do some real shit. Cause like if you actually got more tactical, Trump, about like environmental policy, it's like not that hard to like
he can
solve like a couple fucking problems. Like if he really wants to like do American energy and like fucking build out the infrastructure of the NAFTA trade, like we could like have a strong ass hemisphere. And then like if we built that like infrastructure and framework without like as we pass on, we could have real leadership.
Trump fumbled the ball.
We could have real leadership in the future and like craft like a much better world. Like
Trump, if he picked his cabinet better in 2016, if he didn't have Jeff Sessions,
he's so dumb. In other ways, he's like the worst, right? Like if he had like an ounce of fucking humility, or like I don't know, what's he missing?
Some crazy shit
that allows him to like let some other people do some actual dope shit and help people. Yeah, if he wants to be great, right? Like actually do it. Like don't just lie.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're all fucked. That's why I didn't vote for any of them. I voted for Joe Jorgensen.
Why can't you stop lying? Like that's annoying as fuck.
Well, Biden, they all lie. That's the fucked up. That's the fucked up thing. It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
It's like the famous Always Sunny. I love It's Always Sunny, bro. He's like when Dennis is like, who am I gonna vote for? The Democrat that's currently jamming me in the ass, or the Republican that wants to jam me in the ass? He's like, who am I gonna vote for?
Yeah, right.
Like, which one?
Age-old question, yeah.
That's why I voted third party, dude, for the only candidate that wanted legal weed. Abolish the DEA. I'm so for that.
Oh.
I'm so for getting rid of the DEA.
Ending the war on drugs is one of the most prudent decisions we can make. Like, not criminalizing, like, trade that's happening south of the border and drug consumption in America. Like, there's so much, like, healthier ways we could use that same exact money to, like, rebuild Amazon. I'm willing to bet like we spend more than $2 billion a year on like agents and fight and shit. And if we spent $2 billion a year like reforesting the Amazon and building out like a sustainable agriculture harvest in South America for like letting those people like take care of the food that they live by. And like it's such productive land. Like we send the boats, like we can just help them out too. Send them materials they need, high skilled like machines and shit, and we'll just be cruising.
Honestly, man, I just wish, sometimes I just think we're just all fucked.
I know.
I don't want to be super nihilistic, you know, but sometimes it's really hard not to be because I just think about how many different perspectives are like vying for the same pieces.
Yeah, well, it is weird to think like, oh, I got a thought experiment. think about, okay, you know coffee straws? Like the black coffee straws, the little ones.
Yeah.
So like imagine
Yeah.
you have one of those, right? And like 10 of those. And then like 100 of those. And then like 1,000. So like that would be pretty big, right? But a billion is like 3,000. Thousands, I feel like, is 1,000, a million, a billion. And then we just have like that many straws. And each of those is like one little reality tunnel of a person. I don't know. That's crazy. So we are just living in the crazy, like, flowing, but little sectioned up reality.
Okay, maybe on that note you should take this dab.
Sure.
I think that was like dab worthy. On that, I don't know.
She is.
That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't honestly know what you said, but
That's cool. It's recorded because I don't really know either. But
you
I've
basically
been saying
said
some things
no,
for sure.
I mean, I know what you said. You said like you basically tried to use straws as a metaphor for people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
little tunnels,
Right.
reality tunnels.
Okay. I promise you we didn't take mushrooms before this. We maybe should have.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
We can definitely do that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not anti at all. The Mariners probably got their ass
You know what
kicked.
makes me hella upset? People that are like pro pills, like pharmacy prescription pills,
Sure.
but they're not like pro psychedelics.
Oh yeah. Oh, those
Really
people are just
bothers me.
uneducated.
That's a lot of people. That's like 80%
Yeah.
of America.
People are
No
just
bullshit.
fucking
Like they
retarded.
really think that like a pill you get from the doctor, from the pharmaceutical manufacturer,
Yep.
from the fucking like the chemical corporation, that's gonna like help you out. Like that's a crazy novel chemical that's like never existed before.
Yeah.
And now, like, you know, millions of them exist. And we're just, like, eating them up. Like, okay, that's one option. Or you could try, like, mushrooms. Or, you know, yeah, smoke weed.
There's a lot of people that are pretty closed-minded.
Yeah. And
It's 'cause
one
they
of
haven't
those is
tried
not-
it,
Yeah.
bro.
One of those is, like, healthy and safe. And the other one's, like, sanctioned. And
You literally
the other
can't.
one's, like, fully illegal. Like, what the fuck?
You literally can't die off mushrooms no
Fully
matter how
illegal?
many you take.
Are you kidding me? That's, like, one of the wackest things I've ever heard.
Like, I took, you know, one time when I took 8 grams, you were with me.
Mm-hmm.
Took the 8 grams, bro.
Yeah, up there.
I could not work the TV.
Yeah.
Like, reality was
That
literally
was
like,
crazy.
reality was like sort of like, kind of, I couldn't really realize what was real and what wasn't for a minute. But
Mhm.
then I was like, it almost turned bad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know, I'm just going to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like sort of ego death. And then
Yeah.
I just like turned on the music. Remember when we were like sitting out there vibing, and then we walked in the forest?
Mm-hmm.
That was a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
That was a vibe. So you can't die on mushrooms. 8 grams, then you know what? It can actually help you.
I think
If
it
you're not so
generally
fucking
does,
closed-minded about shit.
yeah. And you don't have to take 8 grams. You could take like
You don't have to take 8
Like
grams.
an eighth of a
In
gram.
fact, don't
Like,
take 8 grams.
Yeah, start with an eighth, but it's.
Well, an eighth is like
yeah, you're right. That's a quantity.
an eighth is like I'd say half an eighth.
I was
is a good
thinking
place. Just
0.8 grams, like 0.8 grams.
oh,
You know, like microdose. But an
That-
eighth, I totally forgot.
I think
that
half,
that's
half an eighth is like a little
that would
like
be
2
strong
times.
for a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't. Maybe.
I
don't
think
know.
so.
I think that's a
so.
good starter dose.
For if you want to trip for real, like
If you want to start, if you
yeah.
want to know what it's like
But
to.
you can threshold dose before you starter dose.
An eighth
That's
is the
wise.
perfect dose of mushrooms. If you
Mhm.
want to like have a
Have
real
a real
trip,
intense and like yeah,
but it isn't too crazy. Like you're
Mhm.
not gonna like question
the
stuff.
time is still yeah.
Oh, it's so fun
It's,
though. God, it's so fun, dude. You hear like voices like, but they're not like weird. Like if the TV's on, like you won't hear the sound coming out of the TV. Like at least I heard it like out of the corner.
time
like,
gets
there.
kind of slow and like all your perceptions get like heightened, and so you know
Remember when we watched
It's like-
Silicon Valley?
yeah, there's like spaces in between like words and like sounds that like normally you don't really hear. It just like passes by,
Oh, dude, and the
but you
people's
just hear every
people's
little bit.
faces.
Mm-hmm.
How do people's faces look? They look so
And
weird.
you look so crazy, like, Oh.
That looks so weird. They were like here watching the show, Silicon
I
Valley.
remember, yeah, that was sick.
That was
so
the
sick.
best. That was one of my best trips
Yeah,
that
me
we've
too,
had.
actually. That was the first time I ever tripped. That was awesome.
Because we were in the pool.
I know. We were swimming. Yeah.
The water felt so
I was
good.
like laying down in the chair. Oh, that
Oh
was so nice.
my god, that was amazing. And your mom called.
Oh, yeah.
And you handled that perfectly.
Wow. That actually
You
is
like
crazy,
navigated
too.
your way out of that. We were all like, who else was there?
know.
Was it me, you, and there was one other person, right? Or was it just me and you? I swear it was one other.
I feel like we did.
Maybe it was John Boy.
Mm-hmm.
It may have been John Boy or
I
something.
think so,
Yeah, and we're like sitting there and we were like, fuck, bro. And then you totally somehow just like laser focused your way out of it.
yeah.
And then
That
like, when we
whole
hung
thing.
up, we like all celebrated. It was like such a euphoric
Yeah,
moment.
there was hella good shit that happened to us that day, too. Like, it just turned out to be, like, a beautiful little day. Like, it just felt so good. Yeah, it just bounced off it. Hella nice.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, I need another one of those, dude.
Yeah.
I'm right to that point now where I'm like ready.
It's getting interesting, yeah. Like, shit's getting more interesting these days.
Well, Corona's done.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to, dude, it's so funny. LA tried to do a mask mandate again, just that shit shut down. People are tired of this shit, dude. Stop it. It's the common cold at this point. It's part of society. It's like H1N1.
Yeah, and this is the problem with the bureaucrats, right? Like, we do have a lot of shit that needs dealing with, and if you're gonna, like, argue over this culture war issue, yeah, like, I do not believe that this is in the best interest of most people, right? Like, there's other shit we could do that would help us out way more. And these people are just wasting their energy and our energy talking and thinking about this shit. It's like a low relative
Meaning
priority. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It's
Been
done.
bullshit.
It's
Hold
been
on.
bullshit the
No
whole
kid,
time.
no kid ever should have fucking put a mask on for COVID. That's just like bad faith. What happened?
It's so funny how you got, bro, remember when you got attacked on Twitter?
Yeah, it's such good data. Yeah, I was so right. Like, fuck
You
you.
were so right. Fuck all those stupid ass people from
I
the
was
stadium.
so right. That data
That
was
were
so clear. Like,
God, you guys are so stupid. You guys were just so ready to follow a narrative, to subscribe to.
yeah.
Why would you want to be afraid of something if you don't have to
know
be?
what's actually happened. Like, I like the first perception.
But yeah, I thought that was hilarious, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah,
Whatever,
back
man.
in the day, I got a new Twitter. I took.
Well, it's funny how like that whole thing kind of died down.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Yeah.
I don't see anyone talking about it
That
anymore.
passed right by. Well, there was a turning point.
We had to protect all the fat and old people that don't leave their house anyway.
Oh, yeah.
God.
We couldn't have had Instacart before. Just cruised right through it. I would have taken some like big handouts to. Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm just glad it's over.
Mm.
But I'm kind of pissed I still can't go to Canada.
Yeah.
That's like weird. Like, you don't want me to spend my money there?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
because
many places, man. Like it's tough. Like a lot of states are like down bad. I think.
the ones that have the mandate. Florida's like doing great.
I mean like nation states, but our states too have such
California.
such a fat gradient of quality of life, and it's not even by state. Even it's like by zip code and like region.
To be honest,
You know, like
at this point, bro, like California's unlivable.
it depends where.
Okay, if you want to live in a decent area of California, it's unlivable in terms of price.
Oh, I thought you meant like climate, but
No, in terms of price, and like it's becoming unlivable in terms
It's
of climate.
getting
You know, Southern California uses Lake Mead for water.
oh yeah,
Way more than Vegas does,
yeah,
and they're getting the Lake Mead's drying up. Like,
yeah.
so.
No, yeah, they're in trouble actually. That's why I don't want to live there. Yeah. It's if you lose like if California has like they have groundwater and reservoir water and there's ocean water if you have the energy, and that's like a high energy input task.
It shouldn't be.
Well,
We could just use sunlight and like
It's
a
still-
big magnifying glass
yeah.
and distillation.
right, it's still a lot of energy though, but then you're just gonna have sun energy, you know. It's like
we don't have to produce the energy. It's the sun.
that's true. We could use a lot more sun energy.
Well, think about it. If we had like a big magnifying glass,
yeah, oh for sure.
and we dug a trench from the ocean, water flowed in, the magnifying glass was like focused the sun,
just
like
solar
boiled the
power,
water, and then like distilled the water,
Mhm.
purified it. We came through a couple filters, came through drinking water right there.
Right. Or we could have hella solar power in the desert, and then reverse osmosis plants on the coast. Hella using gravity too. You can like pipe the water where you need it. And
I'm
then-
with it.
Yeah, so then just like, yeah, you have a nice functional grid. Some places, renewable energy is such a good solution. Like, you know, where it's hella windy and where it's hella sunny, you should definitely build green energy there. Like,
Yeah.
straight away. Like, that is gonna help a lot. And other places where, like, those are not the conditions.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you really should have, like, nuclear energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to not have carbon, like, this is the one option. Because relying, like, the fucking energy of the transportation sector on electricity is doubling our demand. Like,
We could literally use, well, like, it's so funny how everyone's like, electric cars. We don't have the infrastructure for it.
yeah.
We don't right now. Because we don't have nuclear power.
And building the cars. We gotta build the cars, too.
And lithium, we don't have the lithium.
Yeah.
And think about most
So
most
many
plants in
intermediate
America,
products. Oh my god.
most power plants in America are coal-fired. That's a fact. No, it's
but,
literally a fact.
I mean, I believe
It's
you on
100% a fact. Because in the Midwest, they're all coal-fired. In the East, they're coal-fired mainly. Hydroelectricity is rare. We're one of the few states that has it. And most states don't have nuclear.
that. Yeah, but gas. I think there's a lot of gas now.
Florida, or not Florida, Texas is about it.
I think gas has taken over coal. I'm actually almost certain of that. We can see, but
Google
but
it. I guarantee you, coal. Coal.
Mhm.
Most power plants are powered by coal now. Still.
It's changed a lot.
It might have, but I guarantee you most are coal fired.
Petroleum is the biggest bar, shortly followed by natural gas. Oh no.
They're coal fired.
I don't know. I think here we've actually like shut down a lot of coal. Like I think globally that's true.
In America, it's still true. Especially in the Midwest and the East, Northeast. They're all coal fired.
Right.
That's where most of the people live. Northeast. But the point is that it's not, our infrastructure is not built for it. Whether it's natural gas, coal, whatever.
Yeah.
Those aren't renewable.
I think not. But it is. It's fully combustion. Yeah. It's fully combustion. But we mine a lot of coal here, but I think we kind of like kick it out of here because the problem is most places have shit coal. It's like got a lot of water and like a lot of sulfur in it and a lot of random ass chemicals. And if you like just burn it, it sends that shit in the atmosphere. That's bad. And if you clean it, it takes a lot of energy, right? So if you had hell energy, maybe you wouldn't be burning the shit coal. And most places, that's their only naturally existing energy source. They don't have just oil laying around. But we have really good coal in the U.S. The Wyoming Powder River Basin. And,
We do have the most coal.
And the Northeast, yeah.
We have the most coal power plants in America, or in the world. 240, followed by Japan.
Damn.
At 91. So we have more than double the next one. What's crazy is we have more than Russia, right? You think Russia would have a lot, right?
Yeah. I
But
believe it. They have oil though. They just have like straight oil.
yeah, but man, that's not clean either.
No. Well, it's just,
it's
no,
like
it's just
either,
straight carbon.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. If it's natural gas or coal or
Natural
oil,
gas is a little cleaner.
for sure.
But
and, yeah, if you natural gas in cold places, and yeah, if you can like collect it responsibly, run the plants in cold places, and do like new technology in natural gas, the carbon per energy is relatively low. It's the second best option behind nuclear and behind renewables, where it's like sunny and windy. But that's gonna be the fucking enough to support the people. Yeah, we just have a lot of things to kind of address.
I don't. We can't have this legislation to make. You can't force all cars to be electric if you don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing in California by 2030 or whatever.
No, they are kind of putting a lot of stress on themselves and on everyone else, right? Because, like, realistically, like, they're fucking running out of water right now. And they're, like, going hella hard. Like, they're spending so much energy, right? Like, such a resource sink. And, like, that's cool. Like, it's definitely fun, like, chilling in California, like, getting fucked up and shit. But, like... Are you really producing?
Yeah, I love
visiting. At a certain point, are you like really adding enough fucking value? And there are like a lot of manufacturing jobs and a lot of warehouses there for sure. But the resource sink versus the productivity is not balanced. And then if you lose anything, like it's a fucking hellscape. Like, whew.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. I would not want to be there with no AC or like with no, much of California, fat desert.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas is only sustainable because of the casinos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are like, oh, Vegas is going to be unlivable. I'm like, no. That's the biggest money maker in the state by far.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do anything to make sure it stays.
Always money imports.
Yeah. They'll save Vegas before they save...
quite a few other places.
Yeah, before they save a few other places, for sure. But
in a certain way, yeah.
What's crazy is Vegas uses like the least amount of water out of all the places that have water allocated from Lake Mead.
Mm-hmm. Damn. That's a tough one. Yeah, water's a tough one. They got a lot of water in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm. Own real estate here. Own real estate where there's water.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got 8 inches in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's so bad. 8 inches in one day. And then no rain, and then 2 inches, and then like 3 more inches. So like, it's just so much rain.
Flooding.
That's a bad situation. Yeah, your watershed is like, with all the fucking development and all the ag, all the shit. It's bad.
So what do you think about the war in like Ukraine? Like, do you think we're gonna accelerate that? Do you think it's gonna end soon?
I hope it ends soon. I think peace is the number one
obviously,
priority.
We all hope.
Well, that's not a popular opinion, I think, but that's
really
no, because
that's stupid. It should be.
I agree, but I don't. Yeah, obviously, if it was, maybe I haven't heard any good news on the peace front from our negotiators. I don't know who's chatting it up with Putin over there from being like, hey, bro, like I'd actually take your fucking gas and not beef over the shit if you were just like not explode cities and maybe make shit better for people. Like, it's not really that outrageous of a proposition. Try to like talk about that to the world. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed in the world sometimes.
Yeah,
disappointed to be human.
It's fucked up. Yeah, it's like I actually actively don't watch it, which is maybe
I don't watch it either.
Fucked up.
I have no. Is it really
curious.
fucked up?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm you know what's going on ultimately. Like I don't think if this gets sorted out in 10 years, I'll like forget about it. But yeah,
I just think like I honestly think that him threatening nuclear war is like just a big bluff. He's just trying to scare us into submission.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if you do this, then I'll launch nukes. He's like,
it's so silly, yeah.
It's so suicidal.
Silly.
Everyone's gonna die if he does that. It's not just him. Like literally, everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, hopefully, there's enough people over there who want to live.
He said
prevent it.
Like I think that if he said launch them, a lot of people wouldn't
want to do it.
Wouldn't turn the key.
I hope so. Yeah.
Because they would know that there's nuclear weapons pointed
there's
in
a
every
chance
direction.
Of survival. Yeah.
The only place you could survive maybe is in like Madagascar or like some place where there's literally no nuclear target.
Yeah, but the world, it would be like living through a mass extinction, like
It'd be a fucked up
high
world.
level order of magnitude mass extinction.
Oh my god, like I feel like the sunsets would be all fucked up. Like
For years, yeah.
you probably have fallout on the island. There's probably no way you could escape it.
Anyone who lived would be so sick. Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Well,
fun.
the way. So I watched this. Bro, I watched this crazy video about this fucking dude. He was a Japanese scientist, and he was like working on a power plant, and he accidentally got exposed to like the largest dose of radiation any human's ever been exposed to.
Wow.
And so the scientists decided to like try to keep him alive for as long as possible and study him.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the family wanted to, too. But like basically what radiation does is it literally breaks you down like from like a cellular level, like DNA.
All the bonds are just like
It like decomposes your DNA. So like your body just like becomes this like a fucking sack of just nothing over
seems
time.
like it become like Jello almost.
Yes, literally. Yeah. So like they try to keep him alive. And, like,
Ooh.
over time, like, they were, like, trying all these drugs. And, like, nothing really worked. And, like, it got to the point to where, like, his skin was sloughing off. And, like, his eyes were, like, just fucked. And they kept him alive for 90 days. Excruciating fucking days of just pain.
Ooh.
And then he just fucking just, like, basically just melted. From, like, the inside, like, out. Like, he just was liquefied.
His
like,
cells stopped
but they
working.
tried. They were, like, injecting him with everything to, like, keep him alive. Like, his heart stopped a couple times, and they fucking got it started going again.
They got it going.
It was fucked. They were like,
so
maybe
excited.
we can save him. Maybe we can save him. And as the skin is just sloughing off his arms, like...
Oh, man, what an experiment.
So he was just in so much pain.
Oh, man.
He literally begged them to kill him in the end.
Been...
He said, please kill me, please kill me, please kill me. And they
There's
finally killed him.
been 100 billion people ever.
Yeah, I saw that.
You think that was worth one of them to do a radiation experiment?
I don't know.
1 out of 100 billion?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe there's some objective value to that.
I don't know if they learned, but it sounds pretty brutal.
The effects
too. It's kind of fucked up.
Well, they were trying to treat him. Ultimately,
Right.
they were trying to like figure out how to treat somebody who's like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the process, tortured the shit out of him.
They learned it doesn't work.
They tortured the shit out of him, essentially. Those Japanese are crazy, though, dude. Like, there's that...
They're pretty tough over there, I think.
No, there's that one, like, medical experimentation place in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese were arguably worse than the Nazis in a lot of ways.
There was just a lot of people in like Asia, I think, that they could like fuck up pretty good.
Fucking went and raped Nanking and burned
Yeah.
that shit down.
And the Koreans, they like subjugated the Koreans pretty bad. It sounds like for
Yeah.
a while.
The Japanese were fucked up
I think they
people.
were sailing around whacking people
They
on
were-
boats and.
They were fucked up. They were, and so they had
That's
this.
brutal, man.
I forget the fucking lab or the name of it. Forgive me, people, but there was a lab where they would like vivisect people live, just to see like prisoners of war. They would they would freeze their arm off, like put it in like a cryo chamber, just freeze it and just see what happens. They would just do fucked up shit, like inject people with weird things, like feed people weird stuff, not feed them for long, make them run while not eating, just see what a human could withstand.
That is strange, yeah. That's fucked up.
And what's fucked up is we actually did learn a lot from those.
A lot of people.
We learned a lot about what the effects of certain shit is on the human body.
Yeah, I wonder if they cataloged the chemicals like
They did.
meticulously.
Oh, they were.
Then-
They were very detail oriented with it, obviously. I mean, it's Asia. They're very organized and meticulous, especially in Japan. That's where feng shui comes from.
And a lot of semiconductor designs.
Mm-hmm.
Like high value. And
Mhm.
car.
There was a real...
logistics. Yeah,
There was a real fear in the 80s that Japan would take over
interesting.
because of the amount of technology they were producing over there in cars.
Mm-hmm.
They took all of American
They went
manufacturing
quick.
away.
That is pretty crazy, yeah.
And so in America, we were afraid. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we had the Motor City right in Detroit. That shit's
Yeah.
gone now.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that little dude I was drinking shots with worked for Ford. He was from Detroit, worked at Ford still
Damn.
in the Motor City.
That's tough. Michigan. It's tough out there.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to live there.
I'd rather live here.
Rather live here, I think, but I'd rather live in many places.
Yeah.
I'd rather travel.
That's gonna be hopefully something we can do still. There's like I want to go to Asia one day.
Oh, Japan! I would love to go to Japan, man. Dude. I actually love Japanese food too. Like authentic shit. I'll eat the raw everything. I don't give a fuck, dude. Because their fish is so fresh there.
Oh.
They're not fucking around.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a heavy load over there, I think.
Of what?
Well, like the Chinese and the Japanese both fish a lot, and
you mean is it good for the environment?
Ocean, low key. Yeah.
Oh no, it's terrible for the environment.
I think it's actually.
There's overfishing for sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even them because they actually have
pollution too. No kidding. Like,
so much.
There's actually a lot of pollution.
Japan actually has regulations.
I think Japan's far better off, and they are like isolated. But like Southeast Asia, like the Vietnam, Cambodia, like Laos, like Thailand, like.
They don't have any regulations, and if you're poor, you can't blame poor people for just sufficient.
For living in poverty. What a terrible situation you have here.
Yeah.
Fucking no access to anything you need. Or living with like thousands or like millions of other people in a fucking, oh. Just work your way out of Indonesia, like.
Oh, bro, okay, speaking of that one, have you ever seen the videos of the 2005 tsunami?
No.
Dude, you've got to watch that. 225 to 250,000 people died in one day.
Holy shit.
Due to a 9.5 magnitude earthquake in the Indian Ocean.
Oh my god.
That just sent a tsunami wave in Sri Lanka, in Thailand, it hit all over Southeast Asia. Indonesia killed so many people. The videos from that shit. Yeah. And what's fucked up is, when a tsunami happens, the tide gets drawn out super far, right? Like almost, if it's a bigger tsunami, the farther it gets drawn out.
Sucks out all the
And so the people they're so hungry and poor, they're like, oh shit, there's fish everywhere. So they run out into the thing, start grabbing all the fish. They look up, they're like, fuck. A massive wall of water just coming right back towards them. Such a fast speed. It killed so many fucking people.
God. Yeah, we need early fucking warning indicators for storms for people all around the world.
They made it better after that.
Yeah, for sure.
They made it because
that's many priority. Because if you're gonna get like 8 inches of rain in one day, it's really good to know that before it fucking starts raining on you. Like, dude, not everyone has a weather app on their phone. Right.
You've got to watch that video.
Yeah,
there's crazy. So many of them. There's and it's crazy to see the force of nature.
You know what's impressive about the Japanese in Fukushima? Only like one person died in the rescue evacuation, and it was just an old head, just didn't survive.
Really?
The excitement, the rush, but no one got killed from radiation. It wasn't perfect. It definitely was not. It wasn't the best outcome, but no people died. No bullshit.
No, I believe that. I believe also in the after effects, people may have eaten some toxic ass fish and shit.
For sure, but what do we count that up? So 10 people, 100 people over how many years of power? Power's not free in terms of human cost.
I would say no net benefit.
It's the most fucking.
Fukushima was also old.
Right.
It's not fair to compare that to what we can do now.
And you have to count fucking air pollution and mining and
mining is the
you can't discount the negative externalities of other energy sources. A dam has broken before, right? So do you count 100,000 deaths from water against hydropower? You can do that. I guess, but
I wouldn't.
Yeah, people die building windmills,
People die driving cars every day.
Yeah, but compared to air pollution globally, Jesus
air pollution
Christ.
kills so many people.
Oh, it's the worst one. So don't even come at nuclear if you if that's your perspective.
I forget how much. I think it's 10 feet of water. If you put a lot of nuclear waste in 10 feet of water, you can swim on the top and not be exposed.
I was next to a nuclear reactor that was operating at fucking WSU. They have a little nuclear reactor, it's in 25 feet of water. You get to walk out there. It's like blue and glowing. It's like one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. Like, yeah.
Water's a terrific.
You know what's going on. Like, it's just harnessing the power.
It's a star.
Yeah.
It's like a little star, literally.
Yeah.
That's what
the
stars
best
are, bro.
technology today, yeah. Splitting atoms down.
Stars are fusion. But still, we can, I think
it's still a nuclear.
They're working on fusion.
Yeah,
still.
It's still a nuclear thing. Yeah. Oh, we could have fusion one day. I feel like.
Yeah.
But we gotta just fucking keep grinding. You know, like it's not gonna be free. Like it's not just gonna be figured out. Like we have to have good ass education all over and maximize our human capital and our design processes. Like, yeah.
There's also a lot of money in not wanting that developed, like in Saudi Arabia and Qatar.
The anti-nuclear sentiment is like an octopus tentacle of the fossil fuel industry.
100%.
Because anyone who bitches about nuclear and like fear mongers about something that like statistically is incredibly safe seems to have like a vested interest. And like, why would you not want people to know?
Duh.
You know, why do you want to misrepresent what's going on here? Like, why are you doing that?
Who funded Reefer Madness?
Yeah,
the timber industry.
There's a lot of
Because they wanted to get rid of hemp. They wanted to get rid of all of the...
yeah.
Even though hemp and weed are the same thing.
Yeah, we need to fucking stop cutting so many trees, is my opinion. I've been where they harvest the timber, and there's a lot of fucking trees cut down.
Well, young trees actually harvest more carbon than old.
I know, but we can't have only young trees. And like, I'm not bullshitting you, like, where there's not national parks, the trees have been cut. And like,
I know
they are in, like, that's like not an exaggeration.
I know, like, when you drive through the cabin.
Yeah. So
on
like
Highway 12, you see it.
We have like huge areas of like states and of regions already being like actively harvested, like every, like 50, 30 years. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, we should be like trying to cultivate more like 500-year-old trees. Like, no bullshit. Like, that's so many tons of like carbon just sunk. And we just build soil and like, it's such a good investment. Like, yeah, and instead just extractive industry and pollution.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of upset with how the way that's going.
Yeah, right? That's a bummer, but we actually still
all old growth is gone, bro.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
It's like all gone.
Dude, I've been sitting by like these stumps. I've been working on the coast, and I see these like 7-foot diameter stumps. Like
I've seen so many crazy pictures of old logging.
Yeah.
Well, you can't blame them. It was like that was like our version of diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were like, holy shit, a huge fucking tree. You know how many houses we can build with this shit?
It is crazy, but it is crazy that they like got to the end faster than they thought. There's like this narrative that like people like, oh, they thought they would never run out of space. There was so much space. There was a point where they realized like we cut down all the trees, and maybe at some point between then and now we should have like refigured
well, every civilization
the system.
has done it.
Yeah,
they did it in England.
Actually fucking ended quite a few.
They did it in England. Easter Island used to be lush with trees. Yeah. They cut down all the trees there, and now they're all dead. Because you can't fucking cut down all the goddamn trees. Where you get birds. You want habitats for
life
animals
around you. Yeah, you fucking want a living environment. Like you don't want. Yeah.
England.
Degraded
where are the trees in fucking England now? They cut them all down.
Yep.
Scotland, they cut them all down.
Yep.
They have harvested all the goddamn.
The Midwest used to be like forested, like
the East
was, like,
used to be
swampy hardwood. Yeah.
All of the East used to be massively forested. Yeah. The colonists all cut them all down to build shit.
Yeah. You know.
But again, you can't blame them because they're like, holy shit, resources.
Yeah,
especially in the very beginning, you really can't blame them back then.
Well,
you can't even really because people had no idea how big this continent was.
It's history, yeah. It's
they had no idea.
Thing what happened.
Imagine landing on the East Coast.
Oh my god.
And like listen, like colonialism's obviously like not like objectively like bad in history, but it is good ultimately for the advancement of civilization in terms of technology because all the real technological advancements were from Western civilization in Europe. That is a fact. There was very few technological civilizations over here in Native America. That's true.
Yeah.
But a side effect of colonialism was the death and rape and pillaging of a lot of civilizations. That's obviously a crime
It just was
against
the
humanity.
first time it had happened on a global scale.
Yeah.
You know, like that was just like it just happened to be the first time in history where like there have been other times in history when like a continent wide group or like a regional wide group would like really run through a place, lock it down, like do whatever they were gonna do, like run their empire.
People.
But at a certain point, like the technology just spawned in a set of conditions where it was like such a leg up. Like you were
Yeah.
harnessing like fucking like steam power, like literal combustion, and that's just once you start getting that access to energy and like building out the infrastructure to get more access to energy,
Building
and,
railroad.
yeah, oh my gosh, transportation, automating processes using some sort of like, yeah.
None of that
Oh
would have
my God.
happened if Western civilization didn't colonize over here.
Well, I don't know that it
wouldn't
happened
have
at the
happened
same
as-
time. The thing is, it happened at the same time. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like that's how it went down.
I just
They
don't
were
think. I don't
incongruent.
think the natives would have. They wouldn't have the drive. That wasn't the way their culture was. Their culture was way more
Well,
nature. And I'm not saying it's a worse or better way. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, well, there is actually a lot of argument to say the Western way is the better way because life expectancy is way longer now due to technology.
Mhm. But we're having trouble.
We're having trouble right now because of the opioid shit, and
Mhm.
we're kind of fluctuating with our life expectancy. But overall,
Yeah.
we're way higher than it used to be
Mhm.
when it was just,
Oh yeah.
But
Our lives have pros and cons. Like in some ways, we're so uncontested the best. Like the way we're like sitting and like living in a controlled environment and like, having these nice drinks and like
yeah.
all this dope shit. Like, yeah, that way we're doing hella good. But like the people of the past, I think they mostly struggled realistically.
Oh my God.
But
That's
they
why
did
we're
have-
here.
But yeah, there was like probably a fifth of the people, or definitely a tenth of the people that like had pretty dope lives and like lived. I don't know. I think most of the natives did okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough
I heard
one.
a cool thing though that we could use a pro of the native shit. I've always felt like on one hand, this like land is so nice, right? Like it's so naturally rich that like we should like tap into like the free benefits and the free value that like nature provides for us. But there's like a certain point where you're like fucking taking like 50% of the if you don't allow any accumulation in nature, you're gonna run out. Like you can overdo it. Like jeez. And
Well, yeah, it's like resource. You got to replenish the resources.
yeah, and so the natives had a better balance dialed in.
They also had a way lower population.
Right, but the point is, we can do both now. So by like saying like, we made these deals with them that said we would share the land so we can like live on it into the future.
Oh, we fucked them up with that.
Right, but now what if we were like, yeah, we like said. So imagine if we had judges, right, who were like cool, and they were like, yeah, we said that we're gonna be able to like live and hunt on this land into perpetuity or something like that. And so then we like cleaned up our act. We like stopped polluting and like damaging shit. It's like a partnership.
I guess it would be nice.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, sure. But it's a very utopian idea.
Mm-hmm.
Although it would be
For
nice.
sure, but
It would be
it's
nice,
better.
sure.
It's a nice alternative to.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I would like that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that kind of bothers me a little bit about the whole thing of like the colonization ruined everything. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they like to say that we added violence, and there was actually a lot of violence between tribes.
Yeah. Well,
Here.
the world. That's another crazy thing.
In every place on the planet, people have been warring.
And the thing is, that still is the case, which is a fucked
Yeah.
up thing. It's kind of annoying. Like, I honestly didn't know this before, like, this year, which sounds maybe dumb, but, like, that's really the world we lived in. Like, so for, like, the whole existence of, like, civilization, like, 10,000 years, 5,000 years, like, people in different, like, lands of the planet have had, like, different good and bad resource areas where there's just, like, been conflict.
Yeah.
And that's like evolved like deeply in a lot of places, and like I don't think it's like getting better necessarily right now. Like here, it's definitely not getting better. And
Do you mind if I?
yeah, go for it.
Cool. It's actually fire, bro.
Yeah, these are good bevs. But working too sauced.
Oh, you lost your train of thought? You good?
Yeah. No, I'm in good shape.
I think I forgot what you were talking about too.
Yeah, it's okay.
We can change the subject. We can talk
Yeah.
about.
It's meant many things.
What about God, bro? Let's get deep.
Yeah.
Now that you're a little sauced, let's talk about the Almighty, bro. What's your opinion on that one?
I don't know, but.
Do you have one? Like, are you like? So I will ask you this: Are you more open-minded towards the idea of a creator now that you're older? Or
I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with like the notion of like oneness. And,
meaning,
like, kind of the way there was like it's like the essence of being. I don't know what that means exactly, but like it's kind of like the driving force, like the animating force of life, you know. I don't
what
know.
though?
That's the thing. So like, on one hand, you have like entropy and disorder, and like this is just like a way of things, you know, like
Sure.
the world is like that. And on the other hand, you have like life, which is like self-perpetuating, like tries to like we're such ordered systems, right? Like our energy is kind of ridiculous. Like I don't know, it's pretty crazy living right now. So you just have this like self-preserving versus this like settling to equilibrium, and it's like.
You have no thoughts about like the afterlife
That's
or anything?
what it is. I hope you just kind of like settle in.
To where?
The fabric of things. I don't know.
Like the void,
It's like the
or
ocean.
like the.
I don't know. Collective consciousness, maybe.
Boy, what does that mean? Like, are you thinking amongst? Are you like? Do you have your own thoughts, or like? Are you like taking on the thoughts of like? What God wants you to think now? Like, did God let you have this life so He could let you do what you wanted, but now that you're dead, like He's gonna like take you and let you be part of like His agenda or his or her or whatever it is? Could not even be could be a fucking alien for all we know. Dude, what if God's an alien? I thought about that so many times. Like, that's a way more realistic proposition to me than like it being like a being that we can't see or like fathom at all. Like the idea that our creator was some sort of like creature that's been around a lot longer and been able to develop somewhere else.
There could be. What if like our like universe and like our little like bubble of like chemistry is just like a small little like part of a bigger system, you know?
Right. That's precisely like what I'm. It's kind of tied into what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like, but what if the system is created by another string of beings? That's more advanced.
Yeah. What if
than
there
we
was
could ever
like
be.
40 people that could like watch us like go through this little track? You know, the way I was saying about the straws. You know, it's like what if like you could like see all the water, like.
So you know, okay, we're gonna go back to the straws. So you said the little ones, right? These aliens would be like the big plastic Starbucks straws.
Yeah.
And there'd be like 100 of them or 1,000 of them.
Yeah. There's like
versus
a whole,
versus the billion.
Our little universe is like all contained, you know, within.
And like it doesn't matter like how many black straws
level of randomness to us, is like it's like nothing to them.
And then above them, there's the metal straws.
Yeah, it's like then it becomes.
But I think it's. What do you think about that? Do you think it's more realistic that God's like an actual like being that's like an alien versus
the multiverse makes me think that, right? Because like if people say there are like more than one universe, I feel like that gives validity to the side of saying like there is this like collective nature. You know, what if there is more than one universe? There's just like a bunch of them. Like, are they having some sort of movement and dynamic the same way like our like galaxies or like solar systems or like little Earth systems are?
Well, everything is, God, yeah. Like, okay, have you ever seen that show Connections? Okay, there was a show in like the late 70s, early 80s, and my dad showed it to me when I was a kid, and it changed my fucking life. And it's called Connections, and there's like this physicist that goes around. It's a BBC show.
Okay.
And it's like this British physicist. He goes around and talks about how every one of our systems are connected to each other in some way, shape, or form. Like as humans, from agriculture to like technology to like to entertainment, pop. Like it's so crazy to like.
Cool. Damn.
It was like it blew my fucking mind, and I highly recommend anyone to watch that series, Connections.
I love thinking like that.
Right, it's just like the
piece
gears.
together all the pieces. Yeah.
There's like one gear here that turns this gear over here versus like via these smaller little ones. Like,
yeah, it's a mechanical way. but there's a lot of ways.
It's like a fractal way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a fractal. So everything's like symmetrical, even if it looks like it's not. And like on the low, like there's math that dictates everything.
Mm-hmm.
That makes the universe like neat, no matter
It's
how
the
you want
patterns that you see.
Yeah.
And sometimes we like feel hella heavy, and that's when you're like tripping or something.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you like settle down to a lower energy state maybe, and there's just like a much like deeper well than just like our little, box or little tube we're like flying around in. Just forward in time. That's the direction everyone goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if there was someone that could like move like through a cross section of the time space?
What do you mean?
So say we have like our people going forward in time, right? What if someone could like look at what all 10 people were doing at different times?
It essentially like makes you like God.
Yeah, someone could see all the different timelines. It's a 4D creature. It's just like you just like live in fourth dimension. You can move through time like that. That's a cool.
You can move through time. We can be 4D.
Yeah, right.
But the way you can, you can only move. The only way that it's been proven that you can move through time is forward.
Speed of light.
Because you have to get
approach the speed of light.
Approach the speed of light, and then if you go for like 10 light years, come back.
Time warp, yeah.
It'll be like fucking 50 years.
You'll have lost time. You're like, yeah, relative to your body.
But you'll be young.
Yeah.
The Earth will be old.
You'll have lost time, yeah. That
because you're moving faster.
I don't know.
It's so crazy how it's just.
It must be something about the straw, just like it's blowing open. You just get like shot out of the.
Yeah, it's just. There's no way of really quantifying our existence, and it's really hard for me to not be a nihilist. It's really hard for me to not say nothing matters.
Yeah.
Why we should all just fucking kill ourselves, even though we shouldn't. Suicide's bullshit. Don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because this is what I consider this is actually my opinion, is I'm an optimistic nihilist.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that while nothing matters, we were given a life, so you might as well just fucking make it good.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of good experience that can come from it, yeah.
There's a lot of good experience, and like it doesn't really matter whether nothing matters because we're here now. So you might as well just enjoy it and help other people through it if you can.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, then if there is a creator that actually does love you and he's all-knowing and all-powerful, he'll accept you for that. He'll accept you for having your own journey.
Oh, yeah.
And if he doesn't, I want nothing to do with that God.
Everyone can, like ride their way.
Just be a decent fucking person. Mm-hmm. That's what matters more than anything. Like, help people and, like, if you can, like, don't, like...
Yeah, take some interest in the collective, like, good. You know?
Good, yeah,
like,
exactly. Like, yeah.
A team player. Like, I want team players, you know? Like, when it comes down to it, like, we have to, like, I'm trying to live for, like, as long as possible, you know?
Sure.
And have a good, like, fun-ass
and you
life.
I want
to travel, you know, go to dope places, and, like, yeah, so we have to have some forethought about, like, how are we going to balance all this shit, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to help other positive, good people live along with you.
Yeah, right, like... I have no discrimination against, like, where you fucking live in the world, right? Like, all these people could, like, help us out a lot. Like, it's good human capital, and we should develop it, like, in a good way. Give them energy. Jeez.
There's a lot of untapped potential in undeveloped
Even
nations.
here, like, we're not done with industrialization here. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so the country has, like, been electrified since, like, the 60s, or, you know? Like, literally, like...
We're not even close.
Yeah, and yeah, we have so much. There was the inefficiency, and like we're trying to build out like these systems, but like maintain like we don't have enough water here, and like we have too much energy here, and oh my god, all the food comes from like these like few places. Like we're gonna like have to deal with this just changing set of rules to the game, like natural rules and political rules. It's like who the fuck's looking out for that? Like. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of think it's time we trip.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that, you know, it's been a long time for me.
It's an interesting time coming up too. Yeah, I'll be like going into school one last time.
You about to graduate?
Yeah.
With what again?
Environmental engineering and science.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Get it over with.
Yeah. It's been
Move
a
on.
good ride.
Yeah, been a good ride. Yeah, you seem to have a pretty positive experience. I'm glad.
Yeah. Not everyone gets as lucky as me. I've had a lot of good teachers. Like, no bullshit. Like, you know, all the way up.
So important.
Like all the way up. Like people were just like dishing me knowledge, and like some people like I learned so much. Like wrote down hell shit. You know, like
yeah.
Just banged out the work.
Well, hey man, I think maybe on that note, call it a pod, man.
Cheers. This has been quite the ride.
I'm gonna chug this one and then I'll end it. But thanks to everyone that watched and
take it easy.
Liked the video maybe or not, I don't care. Just hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See y'all later.